So this is what I've done, where I had got rid of the zip. The zip here has left a horrible foam behind it, because I didn't want it to poke me. And I've been sleeping on the sofa or soft mattress for pain relief normally, because I'm easy to get up. And what I plan to do is have 2 foam mattresses on my sofa, which is big enough for a single bed, and then cut it, or have a double mattress and cut it in half, or king size mattress and cut it in half, which is memory foam, to make it more comfortable. And I have grip handles to get up. That's my plan. And so I'm planning to do this, and this helps me in my condition as a disabled woman. Have nice windows and light coming in through my windows, and preparing me to put my socks on, because it's easier also to do it on the sofa rather than on the bed, as I don't have any grip handles. What else have I done? I've prepared incense sticks, which burn wood traditionally. I think it comes from India. These came from London, these incense sticks, and I just need to find, this is cinnamon, and I need to burn them, because it gives a nice fresh smell, and because I have rubbish, and lots of rubbish to put in my bin bags next. A lot of them are recyclables and empty tins or cardboard that I've also washed out and ready to put in the bin. I wash it with large 2-litre bottles. I have 2-litre bottle disinfectant that I diluted in water, and sometimes I use alcohol for my recycling tins and things. I have like a huge pile of rubbish to put away this morning. What else? I'm just making my home more tidy and clean, to my best ability, and what I'm able to do as a disabled woman. I've got bins behind me, but those bins behind me that I purchased for a private collection. So the private collection picks up my bins. I told him I'm still not strong enough to physically put the bin bags inside the bins, but I'm strong enough to drag them across the floor and put them at the front door. So that's what I'm doing. Thank you, Jesus, for enabling me to do it, how the disabled woman does it. I also have a protection shield for my window that's due to be delivered. I plan to make holes through it with using my sticks. I'm going to burn the holes through the plastic to give me lots of ventilation, and at the same time it blocks any intruders putting anything through my window, or insects coming in, such as wasps, because sometimes they make a wasp nest. So I've put my crisps there. I've got, for the first time in my life, I've got onion crisps. I don't like it, actually. I have low salt, reduced salt crisps, Mexican style, spicy and one non-spicy. So if I'm going to have spicy, it's going to be mixed with Italian style, so that I can reduce the spice. It's horrible, too hot. And then I have a plain one, and then I have pretzels. I haven't had that since I was a child, pretzels. I have my tissue paper, some chips that I haven't eaten, which is going in the Italian style meals, to reduce the fat and to help the fat to digest quickly. My bottles I assembled things to tidy up a little bit. So when it gets too sunny, I just shield it with my dark curtain there. My window protection is like a transparent plastic, and I'm going to keep it there permanently and until winter time, and then shut the window. So I plan to put blue tack on the plastic to keep it up straight in my window. And I like my window big. I'd like it even bigger than this, actually, but this is what I've got so far. So I have I have a bed in here in this room, where I like a single bed, and a king size mattress that I plan to cut for my sofa bed I often sleep on. And it was useful for me when I was severely disabled. For many months I couldn't stand or sit, to spray and wash clean it with a spray disinfectant rather than changing my bed covers. I could just spray wash it. So that's how I cope with the demands of hygiene. And I don't have any visitors, so no one is interested. When it comes to medical stuff, the government made only 4 visits. There's no other services. All the free services I'm eligible for, the government has stopped and said I was in a flat and not a house. And as a result of COVID pandemic, there are more strict regulations to go into buildings. So they've implemented new laws to block my free services. I did complain. I did appeal. Even Citizens Advice Bureau could not make any difference to reinstate my free services for rubbish collections, which would have been every week at my front door. So going down the stairs is too risky. It's very dangerous without any lift for health and safety. Also, moving home is too dangerous because the stress factor, I'm already suffering from pre-existing medical condition. The cost factor, too expensive, and the fact that there isn't anybody that is, safety reasons, that I'm familiar to, that lives close to me. There isn't anybody, so it's too risky to move. I'm happy where I am for now. And so the solution to this is to gradually build my muscle strength with swimming, now that I had self-shielded myself during COVID for nearly 3 years now, 2019, 20, 21. It was 20, 21, 22, 23. So it's a long time I self-shielded. And my swimming had stopped, so I've become even weaker. And that's not taken into consideration. I had horrible professionals talk badly behind my back. and the things that they say is ridiculous versus the miraculous. But Jesus helped me. My God knows my body is resilient, and because I never actually had an operation on my spine, it has never been fixed. The original surgeon said my bone had to be cut because there was something twisted in my spine, or in a wrong, it was misplaced, or something in my back my spine was twisted. And he said in order to get to that position, or that area, he had to cut a bone. And then my operation was cancelled along with many other hospital patients. And then last year in 2021, I had a meeting with a specialist, and I noticed that the funds that they receive is the same funds towards Children's Social Services that took away my daughter. And then I realised I don't want to trust it. And I realised that I had to chase them up anyway to say, where's the paperwork? There was no email sent, there's no communication. I'm not happy with privacy policies. So I did contact them and told the secretary to pass a message to close my case, cancel everything. And in the process of looking for a closer GP, closer to my location, because I was originally going to accept the fact that I should move immediately based on my medical certificates and records, that I have a right to move immediately. But because of the cost of living, because I don't know anybody close by to help me, because of the risk factor involved with severe stress in moving home, I opted out. And I still will plan to attend a library and complete my forms. Not necessarily a library, could be an office for the council authority to submit a registration form, which will probably be in year 2024. I'm in 2023 now. So in 2024, my method of transport is a taxi. Because obviously I cannot travel by public transport, such as buses and trains. Obviously I cannot walk no more than 15 meters to 25 meters. I couldn't even do that last year or the year before. I was in excruciating pain. So the weight gain doesn't help. And to burn the fat, I've introduced things to go into my drinks, because before it was plain water. Now I try to find things to put in my drink, including like a burning fat thing to go in my drink. Nothing acidic, because that flares up my stomach ulcers. I was allergic to some of the medicines that my hospital for my local area gave me. They medicated me, which obviously did not agree with me. It caused an allergy combined with severe stress level, bad stresses. They discovered little ulcers in my tummy when I did a colonoscopy and I did an endoscopy. I have got printed paperwork on that in my files. That was done in 2015. And they put pipes down my throat and in my bum hole, and with cameras on to check if I had life endangering stomach ulcers, which caused an irritable bowel syndrome. And all of this has happened as a result of being hunted down as an animal by the authorities and them medicating me. It wouldn't have happened since. So I have got little ulcers in my tummy, and I cannot have anything acidic. I had also been milk intolerant, but that swells me up. It makes my body swollen. So I normally have wheat. I'm drinking wheat. I'm also drinking. I want to find, is it iodine or no? Extra iron in my water. And other things I could put in my drink to burn the fat. Most of my diet is liquid diet and vegetables, lots of vegetables. So I mix homemade soup or packet-made soup, powdered-made soup with vegetables. If I buy a bunch of bananas, I give that to my pets. Plan to put my pets at home on the balcony with in a large 6-foot cage, which is like a hatch, specially designed for this particular animal that is a dwarf mini rabbit, and so that bird of prey does not kill them or attack them. They stay in the cage on the balcony. Intervals, they go in my bathroom. I plan to redesign my bathroom with new flooring on it, because I don't like the blue. It doesn't look like sapphire blue, it's pale blue. It's not dark blue. I like it to be white, the floor in my bathroom, because I can see the dirt better. Everything in my bathroom to be white. Everything in my bedroom I'd like to be dark, but I don't have the strength to redo my bedroom with decorations and painting and decorating and wallpapers and tiles. So I won't do my bedroom, I'm just going to do the bathroom. And the door is broken for my shower, so that has to be fixed. This is how I close my video now, because I motivated myself to do it, so it's before and after. And then at the end of April, I'm just going to do a separate video from this that shows the maximum is 18 bags for nearly £200, which is gobbling up my monies. It's being exploited. Exploitation. Still, I'd rather pay for a service than to have a service where someone is going to be bad-mouthing me and saying all sorts of horrible things. Which is their mouths are disgusting. They don't know what they're talking about when it comes to my own recuperation and my own care, because they themselves haven't been disabled and haven't had a broken spine, and they don't know how to take care of themselves anyway. They're suicidal and rubbish themselves. I know somebody else who has a spine disorder, and he would waste his money at the gambling place, and he would overdose on pills that could kill him. Whereas God does other things for my spine. God is amazing how God does natural pain relief. It says, "Be still and know I am God." So God is really my invisible surgeon on my spine, and make sure that I don't do any self-harm. I never have done. And so that's my care plan. And now you see the rubbish, and you don't. I plan to buy other bins that are not so tall, enclosing them. It is easy for me to lift the bags in and to have a lid. So one for my pets that doesn't have the lid, and it's rounded. It's a rounded bin that clearly says pets or animal. It's a rounded bin, and I can easily, when I use my dustpan and brush, I can easily scoop up the rubbish into a smaller size. Well, it's still a big bin, it's huge, but it's not so high. It's short, low, and it's easy to put my dustpan and brush and just scoop things up and like that. But it's the money issue. Money. I'm waiting for the money, and I can proceed. Whereas for me, rather than piling it up behind me, I need to also buy smaller bins like that with lid on it, rounded lids. There's no food residue. It's completely emptied and wiped and cleansed. And any wipes that I use for my body wipes and cleaners, wet wipes or whatever, even flannels or cottons that I don't want anymore, cottons or clothes I don't want anymore, they go straight in a bin bag and I tie it up in a knot. So that's how I close my video now. I'm going to put my socks on, and the care plan is complete with spying things. You just have a sense someone's spying on me, or they're using my phone to do it. They're doing something. How would they know that I have what I have? They've hinted it to certain individuals. So in closing, my care plan ready for the end of the month. Now you see it, then you don't. When the services clear my 18 bags. If I have more than 18 bags, then I pay extra. And that's very helpful, my companion. And he also guides me with any extra services, such as lifting something heavy in order to clean an area. He's not a cleaner though. I do have a reviewed cleaner that can clean, but they charge too much money. However, they do provide accessible cleaning services. I've used them before, and I did post them on Facebook, my professional cleaners. The disappointing thing is, if they move things out of my bathroom, they don't put them back after they've cleaned it. So it's not part of the services, in the background of the fact that I have moved things out of the way, and that it's entirely emptied, like the bathroom, which is this tiny little bathroom, only 4x4, and like a square. And so they would reflect on the fact that everything is moved out of the way, ready for them to do the cleaning, but they don't put things back. So literally, I would give them 5 out of 10, because after they've cleaned everything, they should really put things back, and they don't provide that service. I remember I was so exhausted after moving things out. It took me another month to put everything back in. So I think that would inspire people, other cleaning services, to consider disabled people and maybe offer an extra service. I would be happy to pay for it, for them to put things back, such as my dressing gown, towels, soap containers and things like that. They didn't do it. I didn't send feedback. I didn't send a comment, because they may take that as a criticism, so I didn't do it. So if I want to use them again in future, I can use them, but I'm trying to save my money, obviously. I can't have the best of both worlds, and I can also remind myself and my private bin collector that if I exceed 18 bins, he can put 2 bins into my wheelie bins outside, because the cleaner of my council, so not the cleaner, the bin collectors, collect it every week, or every two weeks actually, for outdoor wheelie bin. I'm not strong enough to put it outside myself in the wheelie bin. For my exercise and swimming, I'm going to, with the Omicron and COVID, I'm not going to go swimming this year. It will be, hopefully, God willing, next year, 2024, because of Omicron. And yep, so it will be my exercise going down the stairs and going for a walk to the nearest bench every weekend. Or I may do it every Tuesday rather than the weekend. There's less prying eyes. Piranhas. So that's my care plan regarding my situation in the present time, 2023. I'm reminded of the other Christian giver who did consider my personal care, coming from a religious organisation. He also provided me a false type of love between his friends to join me at the library, and so I could meet his friends and churchgoers, because he wanted to participate in keeping God's law, in showing friendship, so that I'm not socially isolated. As self-shielding for 2 to 3 years now, nearly 4 years now, it's very sad, because I'm a young person. I'm not a retired woman, and so it's his own nature and my own nature to accept the invitation and the value of his friendship. However, he was too critical, and when I shared some of my religious beliefs with him on the telephone, by the means of communication which was intimate in regards to certain religious beliefs in my Christian faith with each other, he didn't agree with me. He was my cleaner. I also said maybe we could go to a cinema with your friends. I haven't been to the cinema since 2014. No, yeah, 2014. With my daughter before she was taken away from me in the same year. I think it would be especially nice for social rather than in the church as a gift-giving social connection in general, just to meet other people so that I'm not totally on my own. And this is it's an imitation. It's a respectful copy of God. It's reverence to God to know that no one should be left alone for 4 years plus all the other years of my persecution as a type of an immigrant among the English people. Nobody wanted to know. Outcast and or orphan or widow. And so he did offer that type of pity and sympathy in the nature of gift giving, but he was rude. He said, "Oh, I didn't want to come into your home." He said, there was no humankind nature. He suddenly changed, and he treated me as if I wasn't made in the image of God, that I was someone dirty or something polluted or perverted or some type of a sex worker maybe. So that's the opposite of the perception of the law of God. He attempted to demoralize me and treat me as if I wasn't pure and holy. He treated me as if I was impure and unholy because I told him about Roger on Facebook Messenger, and that I told him I was upset and that he was behaving strangely and sexual towards me, and that he was no longer friendly, and that I'm obviously a female. And so he criticized me that I told him, and he provided me a friendship, but it was not right. He didn't behave as a true Christian. He was changeable. He was too contradictory to his faith in God and my personal need to have a friend, and to consider my pain and my suffering. But he didn't. And so I was guided by the Holy Spirit to put him to the test, to see how holy and pure he was. And he wasn't. He phoned me on Facebook, or he allowed me to phone him while he was in bed, and he's not the one who's disabled or crippled. He doesn't suffer from cancer or any terminally ill diseases. So when I contact him, I think it was just under 8 p.m., he was speaking to me from his bed, and I just thought, this is not right, He didn't ask me to be his boyfriend, and it didn't feel right because he was a professional body claiming to be a Christian at the same time, who had invited me to church. So what am I doing talking to him in bed? So I started crying, and I said, no, this doesn't feel right, this is wrong, and no. And so I was quite beside myself, thinking, he's going from one worse to the next, because he does not accept what I believe, quoting the scriptures even. So I knew he was a false Christian in general, but he kept contradicting himself. And he didn't care about the 10 Commandments. He didn't love the 10 Commandments. He didn't even make the effort to keep them. What a false... So this particular incident had made me permanently block this cleaner and so I don't want to ever use him again. Maybe every 10 years, maybe in the next 10 years or a century. Maybe after 100 years, maybe then. But I don't find a false carer and false cleaner making decisions to put his dirt and his shame on me, and to be surrounded by people who are also going to put their guilt and shame on me. What I mean by guilt is accusations. It was a devil in the church, and with a very low case of conformity to confirm and to comply with God's actual 10 commandments through extreme contradictions. So if you're going to say something, why don't you do it? And if you're going to preach something, why don't you practice what you preach? That's the point. And so, in the regard of their determination to accept me in the community, they did the opposite and rejected me, which made me feel even 10 times more poop rubbish. So it had a profound effect, negative effect on me, but their motivation behind safeguarding was not holiness, it was perversion. What hypocrisy! Each and every one of those individuals that had betrayed my trust. Coming from a church as a professional cleaner. Actually, he was from Albania. He wasn't actually English. So if he wanted to be affectionate and sort of say that he wanted to be my boyfriend, why didn't he tell me? Why did he act as if, oh, I'm the one who's a pervert? Or why did he act as if he was guilty for being unprofessional? And that maybe he'd lose his job if he's my boyfriend, so he would punish me for losing his job for being my boyfriend. So that doesn't sound right. Why should I be punished? And I never accepted the fact that he was going to be my boyfriend. So why should I be punished for something I never accepted? So he did try and force himself on me by saying, I'll come round this weekend and I'll take you to church the next weekend. And each time I have successfully declined and said, no, I'm not going to meet you at the library. I won't go to the church. I changed my mind about going to the cinema. Because you contradict yourself too much and you don't accept my Bible-believing case of our communication. I did not record the conversation. I wish I have now. But I am recording it in this video so that I can remember. I just thank God that he didn't call me back. I thank God that he didn't harass me. And from the beginning to the end, we clashed, we argued, we didn't see eye to eye. So I thank God that he had my number, he could have kept phoning me. Actually, my phone was out of order, so he doesn't have my landline number. So to use him as a long-term service cleaner, it would have, as an example of the case of inappropriate behaviour and false Christianity and false professionalism, as an example, it would have destroyed my reputation. He felt guilty for coming in my home, for trying to be social and professional at the same time. That's not showing affection and care. That's actually emotional abuse. So I'm disgusted at him. He's disgraceful. He's not someone that I could respect, providing me a disservice. And I think he was a setup, remarkably, by the far-right extremists, which made it very difficult for me to weigh out a precise judgment. I had to judge him because he was judging me. and I couldn't pinpoint what was his problem between us. And then a year or 2 years afterwards, now I am pinpointing what his problem is. That means he's the one who's confused. He's the one who was determined to emotionally abuse me. And he was the one who was getting away with it. I could have reported him for wrong behaviour. And so the fuel add flame to the hellish fire. To not fan the fire flame for fame, but to add to the fuel. He cannot reach me now. He doesn't have my contact details. And if he came anywhere near my door, I wouldn't let him in. Because it's the same as a criminal, actually. And his name was Comin, the cleaner. And it is a criminal. It's not keeping to the tradition. He wasn't treating me as a normal person. He treated me as an abnormal person. And he treated me with utmost discrimination. He even told me, quote, "As a Christian, I sense there's a demon around you." So he did sense some type of demon, but it wasn't my demon, it was his demon. So I don't want to have that type of individual causing me more difficulties with his comments and his privileged position of professional power to approach my home and to mismanage everything in his perfect expression through his professional power and legal powers. So in total I've only met him twice, and that was 2 or 3 years ago. And having 2 meetings is enough. So I'm very dubious about anyone who claims to be a Christian in the professional sector, because in fact, most of them are false Christians. Because of confusion, they cannot differentiate and make a difference between that which is professional and that which is personal. Those that can make a difference are true Christians. Those that cannot make the difference are not true Christians. So that spirit of confusion or dishonesty is a demon. The spirit of confusion and dishonesty is a demon. Also, the spirit of not being able to make a decision is a demon. You have to be honest and say, I need more time to make my decision, rather than to sit in confusion and try and tell lies about it. So I'm glad that God helped me make my escape from that cleaner. I felt he had inhibited me in my own home, in my own place of rest. He persistently attempted to make me lose my faith in God, to lose my confidence, and he was treating me with deceit and dishonesty. So how dare he call himself a Christian? He's a devil in the church. He was frustrated with my deliberate refusal to acknowledge him as a type of a boss, and he was frustrated with my deliberate refusal to accept any of his gifts because they were demonic. You cannot call it a Christian. He boasted that he had a big family that lives in Scotland and England. He boasted that he was from Albania and that he was going to get a car for his business. And I said, well, it's very strange that you don't have one at the moment. So I think he was a setup from an extremist far-right government. I have my suspicions where he could have come from. It could have been connected to a celebrity or a prime minister or some type of politician that put him on my path when I was searching for a cleaner. He was the last one on the list, actually. And so it did appeal to me. And the fact that he had made himself so easily available on the advertisement made me suspicious. And so I think it's organised crime, actually. So the other cleaners I found with the help of Help, it's called Hertfordshire Help, who gave, I don't know where I got the, did they give me the telephone number, or I got it independently by searching through the yellow pages. So I do have a cleaner available who is familiar to me and who is ready to repeat their services. And I plan to be contacting them to help me clean the kitchen this time. They did the bathroom. Once all the floors are cleared in the kitchen, that I plan to do this month. And once I purchase my Hoover and my camcorder, next month, God willing, I plan to use them in June or July to deep clean my kitchen professionally, as I've used them before and they know me, so they're going to repeat the services. So that's how I close my video for my care plan. And for me pushing back the enemy who has attacked me, there's nothing more sick, there's nothing more disgusting than someone who is 10 times more fit, 10 times stronger than me, to attack me in this way. And he also reminded me of a bad E.T. or a witch on the witch on a bicycle. It wasn't a woman witch in a children's program. That was, I think it's called Dorothy. The traditional Witch and the Wizard, I think it's called. Wizard of Oz, Dorothy, and that witch on the bicycle, taking away the dog. So these demons have swapped. It's no longer the gender female that's attacking me, it's the gender male that's attacking me. And probably an LGBT gay men. That's what I have come to acknowledge. It used to be the female gender that was attacking me the most. Backdated 10 years to 2007 and 8. But nowadays, it's more male that's attacking me. So these demons do swap genders. And I'm sensitive to identify these facts. That it's normally always more than 8% out of 10% the male that has been attacking me with demon possessed or obsessed. How much more should God's holy people who have true or genuine, not false Christians, the Holy Spirit to guide us, and that we should be much more. How much more should we be obsessive and possessive? So it's the Holy Spirit versus the bad spirits in closing this video. And also reflecting on the Bible, what I've been talking about in Psalms 119 and 118, because it says here, blessed are those whose ways are blameless. Now, there's a negative aspect in closing this video of anyone labelled as blameless to be irresponsible. So rather than use the word blameless, I would say not guilty or falsely accused, or innocent, or sin-free, or holy, pure, rather than use the word blameless, because the enemy will automatically put the blame and shame on me. So I have been listening to someone on YouTube saying that it's a cycle. It's not my fault, it's his fault or her fault. So to take that responsibility is to talk about it, obviously, which is what I've done in this video. It's just to say hallelujah. My holy freedom versus evil freedom. So the fact that they don't want me to use the word blameless, and I will use it because, as Chinese say, yin and yang, every word can be used for good or evil. A single word can be used, as in yin and yang, can be used for good or for evil, for a negative or a positive thing, for a mature thing versus an immature thing. I'm going to complete this video. Bye bye.